Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Star Flames. In this video, we'll be talking about Ari Emmanuel coming under fire for his hypocrisy. Now, you may ask, what are you talking about? What hypocrisy? I'm going to tell you that, but let's refresh people's memory who might not be aware and who may be new as to who Ari Emmanuel is. Now, guys, on your screen, that is Ari Emmanuel, the Jewish leader. He's also the CEO of Endeavor, and Endeavor owns UFC. Ari Emmanuel is the man who called upon companies to cut ties with US, and he also labeled US for being hateful and anti-Semitic. He also was the man who called upon, well, not was, but is the man who called upon companies to cut ties with Mel Gibson. Now, let's get into why Ari Emmanuel is facing major backlash, even from, mainstream media like ABC News and New York Times. So let's talk about it. Now, on New Year's Eve, Dana White and his wife was in a nightclub. Now, Dana White, he is the president of UFC. Dana White and his wife was in a nightclub, and evidently from the video you can see that an argument developed between the two of them. And you could see that that man was basically holding on to his wife, and they were having a discussion, or she was cussing him out based on what I see. She slapped him in his face. He basically grabbed her and he slapped her a couple of times, and he looked as though he was about to do something a lot more than that. But thank God they were in the public. He didn't get to do much more. Now, Ari Emmanuel hasn't spoken out against Dana White, publicly slapping his wife a couple of times, because what they're saying is this, and what we know is this: Ari Emmanuel, is a man about norms and values. And when Ari Emmanuel silence kept on, because that happened, we have to call it January 1st. So that happened January 1st. He hasn't said anything, and he still hasn't said anything. So we have ABC News who is asking, why is it that Ari Emmanuel has remained silent about, his buddy, business partner, slapping his wife publicly, repeatedly? Why is he so silent about that? And when it came to US, he was very vocal. He spoke about norms and values, and we cannot allow for a man like US, who is abusive, to continue behaving like that, because he did call US abusive. So now Ari Emmanuel has a abusive friend, abusive business partner, and this is not allegedly, because we could see it. The video is there for us all to see, and he's not saying anything about it. And as such, we have ABC News calling him out. We have New York Times calling him out on this. Not just that. Even D.L. Hughley is saying that if this was a Chris Brown, it would have been a public outrage. And he's definitely right about that. And I can understand why, for the love of God, is like, this never happened. Now I'm also understanding that you cannot tweet about Dana White and his wife on Twitter, or else they're going to sensitize your tweet and sensitize your comments. That is what I'm learning, allegedly. So it's given the sense that it is okay for Dana White to publicly abuse his wife by Ari Emmanuel, because if he's silent about it, if he's not saying about anything about it, and if he's always portrayed that he is about norms and values, and he doesn't have a problem with his buddy beating up his wife publicly, then it goes to show that Ari Emmanuel is nothing but a two-faced liar and a hypocrite. Because how is it that you have no problem with a man publicly humiliating his wife, with a man publicly beating on his wife, but in a sense, we have to say, luckily, that wasn't behind closed doors, because it seems as though that man has some serious anger issues. Chances are, we don't know what else is going on in this relationship. But let me tell you something. It goes to show that when we come together and cancel people, and the people that is at the helm of the cancellation train, when it's their turn to be in the hot seat, when it's their turn to call upon their buddies, their friends, their business partners to be canceled, we now see how their behavior is, because Ari Emmanuel is very silent. He doesn't have a problem with his buddy beating up on a woman publicly, but he has a problem with Ye West expressing himself. And because Ye West spoke vocally about the Jewish community, he labeled Ye as abusive. And never yet in history there has been any reports or any signs of Ye West beating up on any woman. So it goes to show that there is hypocrisy that lies very deep, very dark in the entertainment industry. What goes for one does not goes for all. And as such, I think that people should keep pressuring Ari Emmanuel to speak out against Dana White and to call for him to be canceled, because Ari Emmanuel doesn't speak out unless he's calling for someone to be canceled. So why the heck is he so quiet now? But guys, that's really all I want to share in this video with you guys, because I think we don't need anything. I don't think we need anything to understand anything else, sorry, to understand exactly what is happening here. If you need a binocular, well, you can try and get one to go through everything that is happening. But it's evident that hypocrisy does exist. And when it comes to the black community, listen, D.L. Hughley is right. If this was a black man, every company would be cutting ties with him. But Ari Emmanuel is basically demonstrating his power to the world. He has the power to give life, and he has power to take life. That is what he believes, because he thinks he's God. You cannot tell him that he's not God. And I've spoken about that in another video, which I'm going to include in the description box so you guys can check it out. No, I'm not saying that he's God. I'm saying he's claiming that he's God, because sometimes people really don't listen. You say one thing and they blow what you say out of proportion, and they twist it and they turn it. So I just wanted to make that clear. But guys, I want to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are, and while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share if you care. Thank you guys for your time. Stay safe, stay sweet, stay blessed. See you all next time. Bye guys.